Hello, I'm Emmeline.
And I'm Kindy.
And welcome to Stuff with Moms, a podcast about shows, stories, and enjoying life.
Yeah. Okay, Emmeline, how's your week been?
Wait, first, I think we need to tell everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Special episode number 10. We missed our high five.
We did.
We are together in person.
In the same room.
It's so cool.
It's awesome.
And we just attempted a high five and missed.
Yeah. If you heard that very tiny, that was an attempt.
Yeah. But we got it on the second swing. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here together, and so it's so fun.
Yeah. And tell them why we're here together.
We are here for a family reunion, and we got to see all of Kyle's side of the family, which was really awesome. And the fun thing is that Kindy lives pretty close to Kyle's parents' house.
Thankfully.
Yeah, and so whenever I go down to see them, I also try and swing by and see Kindy.
Yeah.
Sometimes with my family, sometimes just by myself. So
yeah. It's awesome.
It's pretty great.
It used to be closer. It was one town away. Now it's 2 towns away.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. We're just in person recording the podcast. So
Yay.
Surprise. Hopefully it sounds the same as when we...
You can't really tell.
Hopefully you guys can't tell a difference, but...
Yeah, we'll see.
The magic of
Internet
and
progress.
Technologies.
So what did you do for your family reunion?
It was like a week long. It was a nice long one. Well, it wasn't a week long, but we came for a week and saw family the whole time.
Yeah.
But we went to hang out at this. It was like a mansion, I swear, on several acres. They had 2 ponds, like a basketball court and a pickleball court that we turned into a volleyball court.
Oh, nice.
They had a pool. They had a movie theater room and an arcade. And
what were the depths of the pool? Like the deepest spot and the most shallow
it was
spot?
probably like 9 feet.
Oh, okay.
And then
Doesn't
a shallow
say
spot.
it on the side. I
No.
guess when it's in a private property, it's like, who cares? It doesn't matter.
We aren't going to label this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
yeah.
it was about 9 feet deep at the deepest part, and then like a foot deep in the shallow end. And then there were like steps down, and then there was like
nice.
a hot tub, so that was fun.
Ah, nice.
Which in the evenings was nice, and
Yeah.
because it still gets cold around here at night,
Yeah.
even in the middle of summer.
Did you guys play board games? Is Kyle family
Yes.
big board game players? Okay.
Yeah, they'll play. And
Yeah.
so we played some board games. We did an amazing race that one of Kyle's sisters, Emily, set up, which she's terrific. And, you know, she involves other family members, but she set up like this whole family reunion.
Oh,
And
she did? Dang.
Oh, yeah. She just
Go,
is like,
Emily.
oh, can you do this? And can you do this? And she's so sweet about it. But she does all the work and then lets us take credit. You know, she's one of those people that
Nice.
that does all the things and said, oh,
Yeah.
well, you did all this important thing. And you're like, yeah, but you did everything.
You planned it. Yeah.
You did
That's
everything. I
That's
just
a lot.
piddled along in here and took credit for all your work. No, but she set up this like amazing race, and it was so cool because she got stories of ancestors. It was like a
Oh, no way.
yeah, and then we did something applying to like, so it was a story written out. Like for example, we had one that was how Kyle's grandma Kay, she loved poetry, and so she would write poems. And so then our Amazing Race activity was that we had to make up a poem real quick, and it was one of my nephew's birthdays, Hiram, and so we made up a poem for him, and presented it to him later.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's awesome.
but
So was it like different stations or?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and each sibling had a group. Well, not all of the siblings. Okay, so there were several groups,
yeah.
and we all got like these envelopes. And once you completed one envelope, you got to move on to another. And then we were all doing envelopes all the different groups were doing all different envelopes at different times. We all had a specific ancestor that all our envelopes were about. So all ours were about Grandma Kay. And, you know, there was Grandpa Sherman, and there was Grandma Reba, and Grandpa Ellis. I think that's his name. I didn't know. I'm not very familiar with the names, apparently.
Well, that's pretty good. 3 out of 4.
Yeah. So, anyway, we all had a different ancestor that all our envelopes were themed around, and then we got to do different activities.
Like in that envelope.
They slept, like Grandma Kay slept in a tent on her honeymoon. So one of our activities was to quickly set up a tent. And so awesome. That was fun. Yeah. Anyway, and so then we completed all these different activities quickly as we could, and then
because the goal is to have your team finish first.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
So it was a lot of fun.
That's clever.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that she could think that up and incorporate family members.
And there were pictures with each, little thing. So we got to. That applied kind of to the story. So we had, at the end, we had all these pictures and we hung them up in the house. And so everybody could see all the pictures. Anyway, it was really neat.
Yeah.
Then we did like this bingo activity that one of Kyle's other sisters made up, Melissa. She had sat down and figured out all these different things that people in the family could do and wrote up a little bingo thing for all of them. So they, like one of them was find somebody that can juggle, and there's a few family members that can juggle, and so you need to write down their name.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've done this a couple times in.
And once you fill out, a bingo, up or down or sideways.
Yeah.
Up and down is the same direction. Sideways is the same
Horizontal or
diagonal.
Diagonal.
So vertical, horizontal, diagonal.
There you go. Yeah, those ones. Directions are hard.
Yeah. And then there was a blackout. So and she had different prizes. Like if you got, the horizontal or diagonal, and then if you got blackout, you got a really cool prize. So anyway, all the kids loved it, and they figured out new things about themselves, like which family member has at least 21 letters with all their name, like
including
first name, middle name, last name, all of them. And there's only a few of those, and which family members share a middle name that's the same.
Oh, okay.
And so you figure out who shares middle.
That?
Like Lorenzo didn't even know that him and the cousin his age, Michael, have the same middle name. He was like, wait, we have the same middle name?
Who knew?
Yeah. So
that's cute.
So it kind of helps you discover more about each other. So that was a fun game.
That is cool.
We played this game. We played a big game of soccer. Well, I didn't. I watched. But
yeah.
And then there was fishing. You could do at the lower pond.
Oh, nice.
Kayaking at the upper pond. Clark went fishing and caught 8 fish because it's catch and release.
Holy cow.
So he caught 8 fish. Maybe he caught the same fish 8 times.
Maybe.
And he was like, yummy treats. Because, he put the little stuff on the end of the hook. But he caught 8 fish. And he's like, I'm the best fisherman there ever was.
Well, yeah, I caught 8 fish.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Yeah.
And then Kyle's brother Burke brought this, I don't remember what it's called, 9 square, but it's like these squares above you.
I've seen those, yeah.
And you play with like a volleyball.
PVC pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could try to get it in other people's squares and get them out. So it's like 4 square, but instead of on the ground, it's up in the air because you're playing with a volleyball, and you're trying to get people out, and you want to make it to the middle. That's the starting spot or the top spot. Yeah. But it's a quick paced game, and everybody can play, and you just line up and move your way in when somebody gets out. And, yeah, it's a fun game. So we played that. And
that's cool.
We played a game of volleyball, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. That was my favorite. favorite sporty activity we did.
Oh, yeah.
And then the kids one night all played this really big game of hide and seek.
Oh.
Which was fun because this was a ginormous house.
Yeah.
Like,
they did it
ginormous.
inside the house.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh, that's fun.
And they just all ran around hiding. And at one point, Lorenzo like found this hiding spot where he hid in the upper cupboards that were empty in the kitchen. Oh my gosh. Couldn't find him forever. It was fun.
That is cool.
Yeah. So it was a fun time. We had a
Yeah.
good time. So
That's good.
fun family reunion.
Yeah, gotta love those. Well, my week was
tell me
not
about
as
yours.
fun as yours, but I did have some fun moments.
Good.
A few episodes ago, we talked about work, like team building exercises. So we did one of those. It was actually really fun. We did go-karts.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about it.
Yeah. And in my group, I got third place.
Wow.
So, and they actually like give you like little go-kart trophies and stuff. And it was really fun. I like crashed into the into the side because I was so focused on turning that I didn't realize that I was heading right into the into the side. So
Oh no.
yeah, but it was really fun because we have a lot of people in different states. And so it was really fun to get together and see them face to face and actually
meet people that you never
team
have.
members. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we do video calls and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's not the same. It's so much better, as we both are experiencing right now. I mean, it's not like this is the first time we've seen each other face to face. We've been best friends for 20 plus years. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so much better face to face, and it was so fun. There's one lady that I kind of wish I hung out with her more because
You got along really well.
yeah, well, and I think I was the first one to actually interact with her in our team. So I just
There's a special bond.
there's a special bond. Yeah, I don't know how many other people she's talked to. I'm sure lots of others, but I do talk to out of all of the staff members, I talk to a lot more just because of the nature of what I do at work. Mm-hmm. Since I'm onboarding clients, I hand them off to a lot of staff members, and they just are busy with what they're doing and rarely reach out to each other. So it's kind of nice and kind of interesting how much I know about my team members, because we played a game where first you're told to get a roll of toilet paper and tear off an amount of squares. You're not told how many, you just start tearing off whatever. So, and somebody's comment was, tear off how much it takes for you to go to the bathroom. So as a joke, I just kept unrolling it and unrolling it. I was like, you guys don't want to know how much I use. Anyway, so I didn't. I ended up just taking 4, but somebody was like 7 or 8. And I'm like, just tell them your favorite color or your favorite books to read. I'm like, you can do this. Anyway, and so at some point I was helping with others think of things about themselves that I knew. So it was kind of interesting who I knew, who I didn't know really well, and could kind of, be like noting, okay, I need to get to know this person more because I don't know anything about them. Anyway, so we did that, and then we did go-karting, and that was super fun.
That's great.
Yeah, and then baby Emmeline got her tubes in, and she did really well. And
Yay.
I can't really tell a huge difference other than smaller noises she's focused more on, which is pretty awesome. And she just
maybe
loves
those
it.
smaller noises she couldn't even hear before.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh,
Probably didn't even notice
That's
because
awesome.
yeah, she loves pushing things away. And so there was a lid that she was pushing away that normally she'd just push away and it'd be done because she likes the things that roll so she can scoot towards them. But I think she was really fascinated by the scratching sound it was making on the surface of the hardwood floor. So,
okay. Well, cool.
Yeah. Yep. And we went swimming today and
fun.
Yeah.
All of you?
Yeah. Yep. All
so
of us.
So quickly after you get the tubes, you're just good to go? You don't have to...
You have... So I think
time?
because of how little she is, I don't / didn't do anything about it because she doesn't go underwater. So we just kept her above the water. Okay. And they said, anything in like pools is fine, but if we go to like Seven Peaks or some water park where there's a lot of people and a lot more chance of contamination, or a lake or a river, like she has to have plugs in her ears.
Oh, okay.
So like swimming earplugs or something. I can't remember what they're called, but
okay.
Yeah. So we'll have to do that, but we're not that outdoorsy. If we did anything outdoors, it'd be hiking. So I think we're good to not really do a whole lot, but I'll probably have to do some research on like what to watch out for because this is so new for all of us. But
well, that's good.
So yeah.
And swimming was fun?
Pretty easy. Yeah. I get so tired afterwards. Like I could just go to bed for days. It's like a combination of the sun and the water and
the
being
stress,
constantly vigilant.
Yes.
Yeah. To be watching your children and
yes.
Yeah. And chasing them. But
you know that one scene in the movie Minority Report?
Yep.
I have nightmares about that scene sometimes. So Tom Cruise's character loses his kid at the pool when he's sitting right in front of him. He goes down underwater because his son's like, I'll time you to see how long you can hold your breath. And he goes underwater and comes back up and his son is gone. And I hate that part.
Such a sad movie. Like it's a good movie, but
there's sad parts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So often.
So I have nightmares about that part. So like the pools, I'm like,
super
pools.
stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it where you're like, I'm so tired afterwards. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So that's about it for me.
Well, that's fun. That's a change in
good week.
Yeah. Good week.
Change in the norm, which is boring. So my norm, I should say. Your norm has been pretty intense.
Yeah. I promise, listeners, maybe in like 2 months, I'll be boring.
Maybe. Watch, it's like every week something's happening.
It really isn't this way. It's just we happened to start right when my life turned to chaos.
Yeah, that is true. All right, so you have our obscure holiday.
I do. Okay, so we are looking at August 6th, my friends. And August 6th is National Friendship Day. And I thought this was perfect because Kindy and I are sitting here together recording this 10th podcast. So I thought that was a great way to celebrate for us. For you, whatever that includes, spending time with your friends, writing them, calling them, reaching out to long lost friends.
Oh, there you go.
Whatever it entails, figure out a way, if you want, to celebrate.
Or telling your friends how much they mean to you.
Which always makes people feel like $1 million, so.
Right.
It's good.
It's always good to hear how much you mean to someone.
Yep.
Yeah. That is true. Okay, and then I've got...
But wait, first.
Oh.
Kindy.
We got more.
You mean a lot to me.
Oh, Emmeline.
You're the best.
You make my world go round.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know what that's from.
I don't either. I made it up.
Oh, that's awesome. You just paused and looked at me like I was supposed to know.
Sing the friendship song
all day long.
Now you have for us the acronym of the week.
2. We're going to do 2 for Emmeline to guess.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to get them all wrong.
What they are. So the first one is Nerd. It is a musical group.
Not electric radioactive drums.
That's a pretty good guess. I like that. I like that group. It is No One Ever Really Dies. But they do. So I guess in the group, they don't want people to die.
Okay.
Well, I guess that is true. People don't ever really die because our memories live on of others. So there you go.
Precious.
No one ever really dies. Yeah. Okay, Shield.
Oh, from the movies, Marvel movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Marvel movies, TV show.
Shield.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know it. Homeland.
And for all you listening, you can also guess as well.
Oh.
We just won't know what your guess is, which is unfortunate because it probably would be fun.
Okay. I can't even think of an S word. Saving Homeland in existential. Oh, dang.
L&D.
I'm going to start over. Let's
Okay.
try Saving Heroes in Earth Locations Department.
Nope. You had Homeland the first time you guessed.
Okay. I knew it was in there, but
Yeah.
it didn't make sense with my new words.
No, it didn't. So it's Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
I was way up.
So super long.
You should lead with that next time.
Right. Okay, so now we've got our good news moment.
Yes.
Emmeline's got it this week. So
Oh my
what is
goodness.
our good news you've got?
So this is several years old, but I loved the story so much that I was like, I just need to talk about it. This is about a family named Sikora. And Joe Sikora has a son named John, and he has degenerative fatal disease that causes his memory to erode. And when he was a teenager, he started to no longer be able to distinguish between reality and fiction. But he remembered a childhood of watching Star Wars. John was diagnosed with Batten disease, which it affects the nervous system, and he was diagnosed when he was 7 years old. Children with Batten disease lose their vision and suffer from seizures and loss of motor skills and cognitive control, and then they die early. So the Sikoras, they wanted to do something special for their son, John, knowing how much he loved Star Wars. So Joe, the dad, reached out to a friend from college, the only person he knew that had any Hollywood connections, and said, if there is a way for you to get a hold of Mark Hamill and have a video chat or, something that we could meet up with him or just like a letter or something for my son. And his friend he reached out to his agent, and the agent was like, I don't know. I don't think it will work out. But 90 seconds later, got a call from Hamill himself, who immediately said yes and gave his home address.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Hamill met up with John and his dad, Joe Sikora, and Solomon, the friend from college, in a park in Malibu, where he spent hours answering John's questions.
No way.
In character as Luke Skywalker. At that point, John couldn't distinguish, fact from fiction.
Oh, okay.
So to him, Luke Skywalker was real.
Was real, yeah.
And the dad said he was just very, very kind. This story is dear to my heart because Mark Hamill is like that with all his fans.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So Lorenzo,
That's
when
awesome.
he was in Scouts, one of his merit badges is they have to write to a famous person or somebody that they look up to in some way.
Oh, okay.
And he decided he was going to write to Mark Hamill. And so he wrote this letter. I don't remember what was in it, but he wrote him a letter. And like within a week or two, we got this giant envelope in the mail, one of the big ones, big manila envelope.
Yeah.
And it was a picture, an autographed picture.
No way.
From Mark Hamill. It was a Star Wars scene, so him as Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And then like a note from him, and just like, I really appreciate you. Good luck with scouts, and just it was just really nice. So Lorenzo has this autographed picture from Mark Hamill in his memory box, and which is really neat.
Yeah.
And anyway, he just does stuff like this where he's just a really good guy.
Yeah. Giving of his time like that.
Yeah. And so when, famous people like make their fans feel good. I love that. I think that's terrific. So
yeah,
they're using his power for good, I guess. Even in real life. Mark Hamill, we appreciate you. If you ever listen to this,
support our podcast.
Kindy.
Yes.
We are going to do book recommendations, but we are going to do it a little bit differently this week. Usually we do a kid's book, like a children's book. This week, we are both going to talk about a little bit about a book, but we are going to do a young adult book.
Yeah.
So, book recommendations with moms. Kindy, you get to start first, and she chose a book that's kind of more geared toward girls. So, if you have teenage girls, this will be a book for you. And if you have teenage boys, I got a book
for teenage boys.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is called Edenbrook by Gillian Donaldson. And Emmeline is actually the one that introduced me to it. And I'm so glad she did, because it is awesome. It's like cutesy, romantic, a heartbreaking love story that's like back in the Regency era. That's just so fun to read.
All the feel goods.
Yeah, I've probably read it like 10 times.
Me too. And the coolest thing is, the first time I read it through, and it was so good that even though I finished like late at night,
you started it again.
I read it all again. Because then I just kind of skipped through on all the good and read all the good parts.
Yeah. You're like, I just want to relive a couple moments.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so it's about I guess I could tell them the story.
Give a little synopsis.
Yeah, so it's about a girl who, her mother had died, and you don't know why until later in the book. And her father sent her and her sister away to separate locations, though. So one sister went to Bath with her grandma, Marianne, and then her sister, Cicely. Yeah, she went to her mom's best friend's house to hang out with them. And so dad's not around. Dad's mourning on his own. So basically the family splits up. The dad kind of splits up the family. And so she's heartbroken. She loves the country. She hates the city.
Marianne does.
Yeah, Marianne. Marianne is the main character. And then she finally gets an invitation to go visit her mom's her sister, who is staying with her mom's best friend. So, and on her way to go visit, she meets Sir Philip, but she doesn't know he's a sir.
Yeah.
So
he's just a dude that she gets angry at.
Yeah, because she thinks he's a big flirt, but he's not. I don't want to ruin. I don't know how much more to say, because I don't want to ruin it.
It's so good, guys.
It is. I'll probably start reading it after.
Yeah. Now I want to go home and read it.
Yeah.
That's Kindy's book recommendation. Mine is Peter and the Starcatchers. This is a book by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. There's some really cool illustrations throughout the book. it is based on J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan. So if you like J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, if you like any movies about Peter Pan, this book is fantastic. Because J.M. Barrie's book is good, but you kind of don't see behind the curtain or the reason behind things very much. There's just this land that exists, and it is what it is. And you kind of just go into it, and you're now in this land. Peter and the Starcatchers kind of gives a background to everything that happens in Peter Pan. It kind of gives you the reason why there's a little fairy that hangs around with Peter Pan, why Peter Pan never ages, why he can fly, all these things, where all the bad guys come from, where all the lost boys come from. It's so good. I don't want to get too into it, but Peter's a little boy, and him and a whole bunch of other boys are going from an orphanage across the ocean to this other place. And all their adventure happens on their way to this other place. And they end up on this island. Anyway, it's really good. My favorite part about it is I think this is a terrific book to get a jump start on boys who are kind of, I don't really want to read. I'm not a reader, Mom. This kind of book, it grabs you in. It's really entertaining. It will get those boys that maybe don't really want to read or have only read like Harry Potter or something.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's better than Harry Potter. But again, that's just Emmeline's opinion. It is so good. It is a great book to read out loud. The thing that I did with Lorenzo is I started reading it out loud, and he took it and finished it on his own.
He's like, I don't want to wait for Mom.
Yeah.
I'm too interested.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
So this is a good book. And I don't know how much of you know about Dave Barry, but he is a humor columnist. He's really funny. And that does bleed through into the book. It's epic. It's fantasy. It's well written. It's It's so great. And it's the beginning of a series. And for me, the series is good, but the first book is the best one. Read it to your little boys to get them into reading. And
hopefully that'll be what takes them.
Start of a reading fanatic.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A healthy relationship with books.
Yes. Yes.
Because everybody needs that.
Yes. And there's so many good books out there.
There are. This is true.
We can only touch on a few.
Yeah, we only have a limited amount of time. Plus, we're mostly doing movies and TV shows, so
And stuff that we like. So you
Yeah,
gotta
that's
you get a little bit of a bias there.
yeah, this is true.
Now we have our movie quote for episode 11. Let's see if I can pull off her voice.
I was gonna say you practice. You were gonna practice. Do the squinty face. You got to do the squinty face.
The lips.
Yeah, you gotta do the lips.
You can just call me. I'm right down the hall. Actually, I'm not right down the hall because you're in the servants' wing. You're in the creepy tower.
I'm so excited for this movie. This is gonna be fun.
All right, we are going to tell you what it is later.
Yeah.
And now we are going to break with tradition, like we told you last week on episode 9, that we weren't going to be doing a movie this week. We are just going to talk about our little meet cute love stories of meeting our husbands.
Yeah.
So that's what you get today.
Emmeline's gonna go first because she got married first. I just decided that's how we're gonna do it.
Perfect. Okay, so.
And you're older.
Yeah. First is the worst, right?
No. First is the best.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Where should we start? All right. Kyle and I met because of Kindy, which I think I've mentioned before in the podcast. She wanted to move to this place, these apartment buildings called Cinnamon Tree in Provo. And she was like, I want to move close to work. So let's go here. And I was like, sure, I would love to live with you. So we moved to this place and
you worked in Highland.
Yeah.
Like you worked so far away.
I did.
But you were fine to commute.
I was, because I had my favorite car in the whole world, Hans.
Yeah. It was a
little Volvo, and
little Volvo. That thing was huge.
it was like a tank.
It was so cool though.
Yeah.
And she changed the horn out to go Auga.
I did.
Yeah.
I still have the horn because
Oh, you do?
Hans lived his life out to his dying breath, and I pulled the horn out because I was like, I'll put this in my next Volvo when I get one.
There you go. Yeah.
So I commuted, but being with Kindy was the best. So totally worth it. The first week we moved in, they kind of had like a get together on the grassy knoll.
Oh, yeah.
Where everybody brought treats and we kind of got to meet with the people in the apartment complex.
Yeah.
And Kyle told me that we met that day. I don't really remember meeting him because I met, on those things when you meet everybody for the first time.
There's so many people.
It's all mushed together.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But he remembers. So that's when we met, was that first time when we interacted with everybody in the apartment complex.
Says he. Okay.
Yeah. Every week, apartments would meet together and have like an activity together.
Oh, that's right.
It was
that.
called FHE, and for those that you belong to the that are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that's Family Home Evening. But when you're single, it's all the young people get together and you kind of have a little like lesson, and then you do activities, and that's the main
single home evening.
Single home evening. Anyway, so Kenny and I run in. We were a little bit late, so we missed like the opening stuff. But we got in there, and
was it Kyle's apartment?
Yeah, it was in Kyle's apartment, and we got there, and Kyle was actually giving the lesson.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And
I actually don't remember this at all. So this is new to me too.
Oh. He was talking about the atonement.
Oh, okay.
And the whole time I was listening, I was like, wow, this guy is awesome.
I bet.
I was like, holy cow, this guy, if I find a guy like this to marry, I'm going to be,
a happy camper.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then we kind of became friends. It wasn't like all at once, like, hey, let's be friends, like after that activity.
Yeah.
It was kind of
everybody just kind of was friends. It was a very college age group.
Yeah. Yes. Everybody was in hangout mode.
Yeah.
There were dates going
socialize.
off. Let's go off and do these fun things together as a big group. It was a lot of fun. It was a very fun time.
Yeah.
But as the time progressed, Kyle and I would hang out a lot. I purposefully brought my Nintendo 64 from home and set it up in Kenny's and I's apartment and told Kyle about it. So that he would come over and play with me and have an excuse to come over. So the summer, we hung out a lot and did lots of fun things together.
I do remember, because didn't you hang out with his roommate? Like you guys were dating.
We went on a couple dates, yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought you guys were like exclusive for some reason.
No. Yeah, we went on some dates. Because Kyle wasn't available.
Yeah.
He had a girl he was interested in. So I was like, well, I guess I'll date too.
Because you don't want to just
But what's funny is I have in my journal, like that first family home evening, I wrote it down. I was like, I found a guy that I want my husband to be just like.
Oh, man. That's
Isn't
cool.
that funny?
Yeah, that's awesome. Plus, the more you get to know him, you're probably like, yeah, I want this guy to be my husband.
Yep. So throughout the summer, we hung out a lot. And then he started up school in the fall. And there were more and more activities. At one point, there was a girl ask boy on a date activity for, it's called the Relief Society. It's just the women in our church's organization.
Within the church.
Yeah, within the church. And I asked him on that date, and it was like, we pulled taffy.
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't remember what else we did. But it was just throughout the apartment complex. We went around and did different things.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't remember that. I must have been somewhere else.
I think you were on a different date with a different boy that wasn't the
activity.
The activity. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm sad I missed it.
Anyway, so I asked Kyle, like, well, I have to go on this activity. I didn't want to make it
safely
seem too...
prefaced it.
I didn't want to make it seem too forward.
Yeah.
I was just like, hey, do you want to go with me to this, activity where I need to ask somebody out? And then he was like, sure. So, and then probably like a month later, we were in the clubhouse and we were making a poster for somebody.
I remember that.
We're sitting there with a bunch of the other girls, like Amanda and Marin and Jill and Maylee and Emily and you and me and maybe Karen was there with us.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're all sitting there and we're signing the poster and stuff. And Kyle comes over and he's like, hey, girls, I have to go for my Italian class to go see this opera. Do any of you want to go with me?
Yeah.
And everybody at the table knew that I liked Kyle a whole lot. And so they were all like making excuses like, oh, sorry, I'm busy. And I was like, well, if you can't find anybody else, I'll go with you. And he was like, okay, I'll let you know like the details later. And I was like, okay. And then he walked away and everybody was like,
we probably all giggled.
It was great. It was the coolest thing. Like
was
going
it?
to the Italian opera. Yeah. Up in Salt Lake City. And
oh, wow.
it was beautiful and fancy. And yeah, it was really neat.
Yeah.
Then, so that was like, these were both precursor dates that weren't like the real.
Yeah.
It was just like, for me,
They're
it
more
was like,
friendship dates.
Yes. For me, I was hopeful.
Yeah. For Kyle, it was probably like, we're just hanging out.
Yep. And he was oblivious to how much I really liked him.
Yeah.
And then my birthday rolls around. We had a fun party. And at the end, Kyle stayed to clean up, which was really sweet. And he had a final in the morning and then he was going to go home. And I was just like, I can't live with this. I'll break. Not knowing if he likes me or not. So I sat down and was getting ready for work. And I was like, I can't go to work. This sucks so bad. So I called my boss. I'm like, I will not be coming in tonight. And he's like, oh, it's your birthday anyway. Like, don't worry about it.
Oh, nice.
I sat up and I got some paper and I wrote down a letter. And I was like, that was stupid. So I crumpled it up and threw it on the floor. I did the thing where I went through like tons of paper.
Tons of paper.
Just writing out my feelings and realizing it sounded awful and crumpling it up and throwing it on the floor into like a little pile. And I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was like, I really like you. If this is going to amount to anything, let's do it. Otherwise, really enjoy your friendship. And I don't want this to ruin our friendship. And so can we stay friends? And oh, it was the worst. It was probably the worst letter ever. Kyle still has it in his wallet. I should have reread it.
Ever. Yeah, not the worst ever because he still has it.
And so, yeah, I had to I put it in an envelope with Kyle's name on it. I had to psych myself up and I got it over there and I like ran home. And I woke up Kenny and I was like, I did it. I left a note. I can't believe I did it.
Yeah.
And then because of all the turmoil, I like collapsed and went to sleep. And then the next morning I had to drive one of the girls in the apartment complex to the airport. So I wasn't going to even see him in the morning because I'd get up before he left. I went home after that. And then later I went and got Kindy. Because you were there. You were with my family over Christmas that year.
Oh, yeah. That was the year that your dad gave me a tool bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I still have it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's
That's
in my
great.
car. Your parents. I love your parents.
Anyway,
It was
and
fun.
on Christmas morning, I got a phone call from Kyle, who called up to ask me on a date.
Oh, yeah,
And,
buddy.
like, my whole family is there, so I like went out in the garage. And what's funny is he told me he went out to the garage to call.
No way.
And so we're both sitting in our respective parents' garages and talking to each other on the phone. And
That's cute.
and he asked me out, and then I came in, and I was like, "Kitty, guess what? He asked me out!" And you're like, "Yay!" And we like just
Danced
celebrated
around,
and
probably.
danced around. My family was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And, like, the boy like asked me out. So the first date, we just decided to do it back at the apartment complex. We made mashed potatoes and gravy and played board games.
Dinner, yeah.
And the whole time he kept like, so about that note, like he brought it up a couple times. The first time I pretended not to hear him and started talking about something else because I was nervous. I was like,
Yeah.
he is going to tell me he doesn't like me. He is going to say, I just want to be friends.
Yeah.
So he kept trying to bring it up and I kept like, I ignored him during the game. He finally brought it up again.
And
So
do it
he's like,
another.
about that note. I was like, yeah. And he's like, I like you too.
Oh, that's so
And I was
cute.
Yay. That's great. And so like, I'm sure I was grinning ear to ear. I didn't say anything. I was just like, yes. Good.
Yeah.
And so then we started going on dates all the time. So that was the beginning of January.
Was your first date?
Was our first not friend date. And one date, we went up to the planetarium in Salt Lake City where my dad worked.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking at the beginning of this date, I was like, he's going to kiss me on this date.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I remember thinking that. I remember feeling it.
Yeah.
And I asked
That's
him about it
interesting.
since, and he was like, I didn't plan that. But yeah, at the end of that date, we got up to the door and we were saying goodnight, and we usually gave each other a hug or something.
Yeah.
And when we went in, he went in to like, I thought hug, and so I kept talking, but then he went in to go give me a
Kiss you.
kiss. I had paused in
Oh,
my
okay.
story, and he must have not been listening because the story wasn't over. And he went in to kiss me, and I was like, and he turned it into a hug real quick. And then he pulled back after I finished the story, and then he kissed me.
Go,
But
Kyle.
I made a weird noise. But he followed through, so
Good for him.
yeah, it was really great. We went grocery shopping on another day, and it was after he worked up the courage to hold my hand. And then we went.
Suave.
Yeah, we were watching a movie, and he finally like grabbed my hand.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going grocery shopping because I needed some things, or we both needed things, I
Oh,
guess.
okay.
And he didn't let go of my hand the whole time. Like, even in the store, we were like, he was pushing the grocery cart one hand because he didn't let go of my hand.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, it
That's
was
so
really
cute. That's romantic.
And then,
That's fun.
yeah, when he told me he loved me, I was like, this is it. This is it.
This is the man I'm
moment.
gonna-
Yeah. So we dated like pretty like daily for a month and a half. And by mid-February, he asked me to marry him. He got a ring and kept it. He's like, it was like a hot coal in my upper dresser drawer.
Oh, that's funny.
Like I really wanted to do it right away.
Knowing
but
that it's there
yeah,
and not doing it.
It was right around Valentine's Day, and he got one of those little conversation hearts, the one that says "Marry Me" on it.
Oh,
And he-
no
He
way.
put it on my knee and then knelt down in front of me and popped open the ring case and said, "Will you marry me?" And I was like, "Yes,
Cute.
yes, I will."
How have I not heard this story before?
Oh, I don't know.
Unless I have, and it's just one of those things that I'm an idiot and I totally forgot because I do that.
Well, it's okay. I don't remember your love story, so it's all going to be...
Oh, good.
I don't remember.
New to you.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a refresher on both of our stories.
There you go. Because I'm sure I asked.
Oh, yeah.
How did he propose?
Yeah. Anyway, it was really sweet. And then we got married in mid-May. Kendi was my maid of honor and did all the great things and wrangled kids and did,
The only thing I remember doing well-ish was your bridal shower. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And now 16 years later.
16 years.
Yeah.
That is insane. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
No, it
like
doesn't.
at all.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
He's the best. There's my love story.
Yeah.
So now I get to sit back and relax and listen to you.
Man, that was fun.
Yeah.
I think you should just keep talking about your love story. It's so cute. So coming back from Afghanistan, I felt an impression that I needed to go back to school. I kind of didn't know what, but I thought mechanical engineering sounds good. I'll do that. So I was taking, because I was engaged when I met Matt, but I didn't have a ring on, so he didn't know that. I had to actually tell him that. And he was kind of surprised. So I don't know how to start this. So it was the beginning of a semester at UVU, and I was going to be a mechanical engineer. It never turned out. I have a love-hate relationship with math. Trigonometry, couldn't get past the whole imaginary number. So couldn't do it. I love algebra. I love geometry, but trigonometry couldn't do it. So it was intro to engineering and chemistry was the two classes that we had together. I did not know we had chemistry together until later. The intro to engineering class, I walk in, it's like this day. It's like those magical days where you get ready and you're like, man, I just look so good today.
Yeah.
I even took a picture of it.
Oh.
Because I was like, man, I look so good. I'm going to take a picture of it. I even had like this little like flower thing in my hair. I don't know.
Oh, cute.
I walk into the intro to engineering class and I'm late. So I just take the seat right in front of him. And he's big, buff dude. He works out. So I sit in front of him and the teacher towards the end says that we have to be on teams because we're going to work together to do all these different projects and things. So Matt, he has to go and Matt has like that resting like for women, it's that resting bee face.
Yeah.
He has it for dudes. So he had his hat on backwards and it was all the way to his eyebrows. He just looked like hardcore, don't mess with me or I will F you up kind of look on his face. So he hands me his information on a piece of paper. He goes, do you want to be in a group? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. Who else do you want? Because he was like very direct. He's like, do you want to be in a group? So I thought he had like pointed, kind of in his head, figured out who else. He's like, I don't care. I got to go. I got another class. You pick and you just let me know. I'm like, okay. And at that moment, he thought, I wonder if I'm tapping my future wife on the shoulder.
He did?
Yeah. Isn't that
Whoa.
crazy? Yeah. So I picked two other guys who were awesome. And I can't remember their names. I wish I could because they were I loved our group. Our group was so laid back. We all got along. Nick. One of them was Nick. Can't remember the other one. I thought everybody was married. I thought Matt was married. I thought the other two dudes were married. I'm like, awesome. We're just going to have such a great time. This is going to be fun. Because I'm at the age where even though I'm engaged, like I still have I've always had a weird dynamic with men. Like it's just always been weird. I'm always like, I have a crush on you or you have a crush on me. Like that. It was never, I wish I wasn't like that. But it was always some sort of like, I don't know, whatever. It was weird. It was annoying. I hated it, but that's where I was. And so I was like, I can relax and just be myself and this will be great. So the next class, we're actually walking with each other and we start talking and he's just so easy to talk to. He's so easy to get along with. And like, I just felt relaxed and like myself around him. And then he found out that I'm engaged. It's like, I didn't see your ring. I was like, yeah, he hasn't gotten me one yet. So we go along. We just are, our group, we're having fun in our group. I can't remember how many weeks go by, and I've called it off with this other guy that I was engaged to. Mm-hmm. So we're not engaged anymore. I'm still in the military. So it was a drill weekend, and we had this project that we were meeting on, and we met on a Saturday or something. So I'm in uniform and I meet with the group. Mm-hmm. And it was on campus in the library. And I'm bummed out because this is like, I can't remember if it was the day I broke up with him or it was the day I realized I needed to break up with him. Because I was like, this is not a person I want to be with for eternity. And so I'm kind of bummed out. And so we're doing this project and I'm just sitting there watching the guys do work. And I'm like, I need to help. I just don't care. And I don't feel like helping. And that's the moment where Matt hands me some nuts and he goes, here, hold my nuts. And I laughed. Uh-huh. And he thought that was the coolest thing. Apparently he was testing. I don't know. He
testing your humor.
Yeah. And he had told his family about me. He's like, I met this really cool person, but she's engaged. And his sister was like, you still have a chance. And his mom was praying that if it, that like everything would work out okay. She wasn't like praying against my engagement, but she was like praying that what would happen would happen.
That's really funny.
Yeah. So I break it off with the guy, and Matt finds out because we're talking, mm-hmm. and he finds out, and he's like, the look on his face is like, I'm trying to be sad for you, but I'm kind of happy right now. I could tell that he was really happy that it didn't work out. And I don't know, we just got along really well, and it was just fun to be around him. And so he finds out that I'm not with the other guy, that I'm not engaged. And I'm going to go hang out with Mike and Michelle, my mm-hmm. cousin and his wife. And he texts me. I can't even remember what he texts me. But I'm like, Michelle, help me. I don't know what to text. He just texted me. And so she's coaching me on what to text him. And he was actually going to hang out with his sister. And he was getting her to help text me. So both, just like you and Kyle in your garages, we both had our family members help text each other of like,
what to respond.
Yeah, what to
say.
Respond with. Yeah, and what to say. I can't remember. I wish I like took a picture of it. I don't know, but we don't have those texts. Are long gone.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty funny. In our engineering class, we had to watch something. We were going to go out to dinner and then go to Mike and Michelle's and watch the movie. And he goes, where do you want to go eat? And as a joke, I said P.F. Chang's because that place was expensive. Yeah. As a college student. It's like, no, McDonald's is fine. So he said, okay. I was like, I'm just kidding. We could go to Subway or something, or, I named something else. He's like, no, that's fine. We'll go there. I'm like, oh, okay. So we went to P.F. Chang's for our first date, and then we went to Mike and Michelle's and watched some movie. Uh-huh. Oh, maybe it was his, because he was taking a film class. Maybe it was something he had to watch.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, something for school. Doesn't matter. Not important. So it was coming from that, or it was another day that we were hanging out, that he said the sweetest thing. It was so direct. He's like, if it were up to me, like, we would be dating. It was so refreshing because it wasn't something I had to guess with. He just was like straight up. He didn't write me a letter. He didn't have to psych himself up for it. Yeah. It was just, we were older at this point. We weren't he was 32 at the time. And I think I was 26. Because I think that year that we got married, I was going to be 27 and he turned 33. We were old enough to be like, yeah, we know what we want. And he was like very direct. He's like, I want you. It was just so nice and so refreshing because I had dated guys where you're like, I don't know where this is going. So it was so nice and so sweet and so But at the same time, I'm like freaking out because I had just broken up with, somebody I was engaged to be married to. And I'm like, I don't know what the freak is going on. I don't know what I want in life. I mean, it was to the point where I was so sick of waiting for a guy to go through the temple that I was just going to go on my own. And the mat comes around and I'm like, freak, I got to wait now to receive my endowments. Because I was actually thinking of doing it.
Just on your own.
Yeah, just on my own. So we're dating, and then I'm thinking, this is going too fast. I need some time. I don't know what that would look like or anything. So I told that to Matt. I was like, basically, I need time. For him, that was a breakup. Oh. For me, that I just needed time. But for him, it was like, you hear that and it's over.
Oh, no.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next day I call him up to hang out. So obviously I didn't need a break, but I had done that more than once where I'm like, I need some time to just think and to just be on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. After I think the third time, he's like, no. Like,
denied.
What? And then I remember this one time where I was crying and I can't remember why. And I went to talk to him. And I was crying, and I'm like, well, if he does like me or if he loves me enough, this is me. I'm crazy. I think it was like, I need you kind of realization. Like, please don't break my heart kind of thing. And he just accepted it. Like I don't know what I was expecting. Like a shove out the door.
Or like, oh, she's crazy. I don't want to date her anymore.
Yeah. And like a break it off kind of a thing. And that didn't happen. So that was really nice. And he actually proposed in our chemistry class.
In front of everybody?
In front of everybody.
Oh.
He is not an outgoing, he's an introvert, which I always forget because he's so chill and just like, he's just, out there with me.
Yeah.
But he's not. He doesn't like talking to people. He doesn't like interacting with people. He's just an introvert. He would just rather do his own thing. And so he coordinated this with our chemistry teacher. And I feel awful because I thought we had over-invited people to our wedding. And so we had to uninvite a few people, and she was one of them. We didn't have to. Like, looking back, we could have kept, it was 2 people, I think, that we had to uninvite, and they could have come. Because we liked her. I mean, she was the reason we met. Because this is a class that is required in the degree, whatever degree you want. You have to have a chemistry class. So Matt had to completely rearrange his schedule to get this class in because he was working full time as well. So he was doing the school and work. So thank you, Dr. Chaka. I think that was her name. So we're in class and we're preparing for finals. And a week before we were talking about bonds. And so the professor starts saying, we missed a chemical bond. And the kid next to me goes, the bond of love. And I look over at him. I'm like, aw. And then I look over at Matt to see his reaction, and he's on his knee. Yeah. And later he told me, he's like, I was so mad that you didn't get up. I had to tell you to stand up. I was like, I was so shocked because I even knew he was going to propose that day. So the night before, I had seen his phone and he was talking to Mike about when he was going to propose. And I saw that it was the next day. But then I totally forgot. So even though I saw that he was going to propose to me the next day, I totally forgot.
You were surprised.
I was still surprised. And I was shocked that he was getting up in front of everybody. Yeah. So he asked me to stand up, and then he asked me to marry him. I said yes, and everybody came in clapping. I remember one time, though, we were on I-15, and it was the S curve. I don't know if he even remembers this. And I was getting serious. I go, Matt, I need to tell you something. I just got really quiet. And I didn't say anything for a little bit. And he thought I was going to break up with him. But I was just like, I love you. We had already told each other we loved each other at that point. And I remember our first kiss. I was just sitting on his bed because I didn't want to go home. And so I was just sitting there about to leave. And that's when he kissed me. And he's like, I thought you were waiting for us. I was like, no, I just wanted to still be around you. I didn't. He's like, oh, well.
That's a cute story.
That's our love story. Yeah.
That's a cute story.
this year. Next month, actually, it'll be 12 years. So, yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah, which it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Yeah.
Even though we've got 2 kids, it doesn't seem that long. We've got to start doing dates because we haven't since Emmeline, and I miss him. I told him that a couple weeks ago. I was like, I miss you. He goes, I haven't gone anywhere. I was like, I know, but I still miss you. It's different. When you have kids, you really have to make time for each other because
you do.
You just drift apart. You live together, you raise kids together, but
you do things together, you're interacting all the time, but there's times that you need to just focus on your relationship.
Yeah.
And dates are perfect for that. Even if you're married, date your spouse.
Yeah. Exactly. Remember those sparks that got you to that point.
Well, good story, Kendi.
Yeah. Well, you too.
All right. Well, the next episode, we are going to be talking about Austenland.
I'm so excited.
Which is also a book. So read the book or watch the movie before next episode because we're going to talk about it and tell all the things.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be fun.
Be prepared.
Well, help us grow. Tell others about us. Share something that you have learned from us to others. Hopefully, we can help bring some education into your life, and that we've done that today. You can interact with us on our website or Facebook, or you can email us. Our email's in our show notes. We heard some feedback. We are trying to do better, so thank you. We want to thank Red Productions for the music. Emmeline found them when we first started to do our podcast, and I really like the choice that you made. I loved it. We wanted to do a ukulele, and she found that. So
thanks, Red Productions.
Yeah, thank you, Red Productions. And we want to thank Jonica for our logo. It's awesome, cute, and fun. And we want to thank our listeners. We appreciate you listening this long and hope that you keep going, and we love you and we appreciate you.
Okay, so I have a story to tell you. It is Clark got invited to a birthday party with one of his friends from kindergarten. Her name is Pepper. So her mom's Asian, and she came up when I dropped off Clark, and I was asking her the questions like, oh, when do I need to come by and pick him back up? And is there anything you need me to do, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. She was telling me, heavy Asian accent talking to me. And Clark looks up at her and he's like, you have a brutish accident. And she looked at him and she's like, what? And I'm like, oh, he likes your accent. So Clark, when he was learning about different accents, he decided that the word was accident.
I think I like that better.
Lorenzo has these YouTubers that he listens to frequently when Clark was learning about different accents. Mm-hmm. And they're all British. And we thought it was so cute that we've never corrected him. But in that moment, when he said to this woman
who doesn't have a British accent,
had an Asian accent, I kind of had a moment of, oh dear. I was like, oh, maybe I should correct him. But there's those cute things your kids say that you're like,
you gotta cherish it until they finally realize one day they're doing it wrong
and get mad at you about it. Anyway, so it was really cute.
That is
brutish
cute.
accident.
Brutish accident. I love that.